Olympics here at Sepang in Malaysia. Just seeing that free practice 2 session, Michael. What did you make of it overall? Obviously slower times than yesterday afternoon, but different tyres.
Yeah, different tyres, used soft tyres for the majority. Aldeguer putting the medium rear end and making it work. It's going to be a tough one, I think tough to call because there's so many contenders in this Q1 session, but yeah, good to see Marini on form. The Honda looks like it's working, both Luca Marini and Mir, but yeah, crucial to be in the top 2 here if you want a fight for victory. And Marini on that pace with 8 laps on the tyre, you've got to say he's one of the favourites, but he's got to put the 1 lap time attack together now. And
if we look at those that have to go through Q1, the 3 that sort of missed out at the top of that pile were the 3 that were faster in that session as well. It just seems, so, you know, I'm talking about Bagnaia and Aldeguer as well as Marini there. But in terms of Bez, it just seems like it's a little bit off, doesn't it, here?
You could see he's attacking, which with Bezzecchi, with the Aprilia, if they can be a little bit patient, make it work, then that's where they get the best out of the package. It's not quite there for both him and Fernandez. I think it's going to be a tall order here for Bezzecchi to get through this Q1 session, but obviously he's been able to impress us and surprise us of late, so I wouldn't rule him out by any means, but I agree with you. I think the 3 who missed out yesterday, the 3 fastest in that session, are probably the 3 favourites for this Q1.
But only 2, of course, can go through. Has Bez got something? Let's go down to Paolo Bonora, who's talking to Nat. Of course, it's him and the 2 Trackhouse Aprilias as well in Q1, Nat.
Paolo, this Q1 session is going to be fascinating, as it always is. All 4 Aprilias in there. It's not looked as easy as of late for them. Are they all having the same kind of struggles, the Aprilias?
Yeah, not so easy as the last race, for sure. It is a fully different track layout. But since yesterday we made a step forward, in particular in the hard braking zone in the last 2 corners. So we are quite confident. It is not easy because it will be a fight during this Q1. But we totally trust on both riders. Yeah, for sure, there are many fast riders here. But will be our main goal to bring them in Q2.
What's been the main complaint or main issue across the board?
Yeah, the main complaint is to find the right way to stop the bike. This is the main topic, because regarding the grip is improving session by session. The weather forecast is quite stable at the moment, so it seems to be that it remains like this. And so we are working on the hard braking phase.
Thanks, Paolo.
Thanks.
So the grip, Michael, is improving, as you would expect out there. But, yeah, more to come. We spent most of the season saying that they can work on any track layout.
But, yes, they definitely...
But it's not working here.
It's not working here. It is a big but, because everyone tests here so frequently, and Aprilia's bike evolving so much throughout the year, perhaps they're having to reset those parameters in terms of the engine braking, the negative torque, and given the stopping performance that Bezzecchi has enjoyed over the last few races. So I think it's an evolving package over the weekend. They've improved it overnight, grip's improving, and yeah, if Marco can put it all together here, there's definitely a good shot at it for him getting through to Q2 here in this session.
Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it, since he's been in Q1, and that's where he finds himself. Also, the 2 Trackhouse boys. It's Igor, actually, who's faster this weekend than Raul Fernandez.
Yeah, he's beginning to build. Obviously, he's been through the wars with injury of late, having to sit out after the Mazzano crash, so he's low on track miles with the current package that Aprilia are providing. But as we spoke to Davide Brivio after the win from Raul Fernandez last week in Australia, he believes fully that Igor, we're going to see some real highlights from I soon. So yeah, he's looking good this weekend. He could spring a bit of a surprise in this practice session.
But it seems like this man, Luca Marini, is going into this session as the favourite and has been the fastest of them all in Q1.
Yeah, looked very solid in both the practice session at the end of the day yesterday and the free practice session we just witnessed. The Honda's looking such an all-round package. Stops good, accelerates well, got good top speed, seems to give these riders the front end feel that they've been requesting for a few years. And I would say Marini's my favourite, not only to go through in this session, but maybe even for a sprint podium this afternoon. He's looking that good.
Oh, that's interesting. Johan Zarco, obviously the fastest of the Hondas there. Johan Mir already through to Q2. You've picked your 1 that's going through. Can I ask you to pick your second one, please?
I'm going to go Pecco Bagnaia.
Okay.
Just a curveball.
It's so weird saying that, isn't it? But not this season anyway. The clock is about to start ticking down for this first qualifying session in MotoGP. Then let's hand over to Neil and to Gav. Is Neil going to pick 2, Gav? Or is it...
Green light, away we go for qualifying 1 then of the Malaysia Grand Prix weekend. And this is a very interesting group heading out there in the first session as well. You've got Augusto Fernandez, Luca Marini, Enea Bastianini, Raul Fernandez, Lorenzo Salvadori, Brad Binder, Songkat Chancha, Mikel Pirro, Fermin Aldeguer, Pecco Bagnaia, Marco Bezzecchi, Aigura, and Miguel Oliveira. So there's a lot in this session, and nobody 100% knows what is going to happen, who's going to be around the order, who's got the right momentum. It is going to be pretty much a session of go out there and just see what you've got. The tyre wear is randomised. We know that we're going to have pretty much a chance of a wet race for both the Grand Prix and the sprint. So qualifying, this could be arguably the last dry running we have of the whole weekend long, depending on how things go. So we really are into the unknown, but let's check in with what the boys are going to say coming in.
They'll have missed out on a little bit even at the start of the year, and then the bike's changed a lot, so you probably are starting from a different position. They do 6 days of testing here at the start of the season. The track is rubbered in.
Yeah, it's black, isn't it? The racing line is black. Look how light the tarmac is. It's obviously like a light grey. When you come here to a test at the end of 6 days, the racing line, you can see the rubber there, but it's dark black and it's grippy and it feels different. Makes the everything work better. You can brake later, you can accelerate harder, you can turn better. So that's why yesterday morning when they were doing. Watch the lap times in this session. Yesterday morning, no rider did under 2 minutes, which was bizarre. I couldn't believe how slow the track was. I'm expecting to see certainly a low 57.
Yeah, they'll get. You'd have thought they'd get into a 56. Yeah, you'd have thought.
You would have thought.
So that's the outstanding all-time lap record is a 56.3, which was pole last year for Francesco Bagnaia. Here we go then, it's Q1 at the Malaysian Grand Prix. Winner of the Indonesian Grand Prix, Fermin Aldeguer, is in this session. Winner of the Australian Grand Prix, Raul Fernandez, is in this session. Winner of the Japanese Grand Prix, Francesco Bagnaia, is in this session. Winner of the last 2 sprints, Marco Bezzecchi, is in this session.
It really underlines.
Fastest in the previous session, Luca Marini
is in the session.
Is in this session.
Have you finished?
Yeah, well, no, there's probably a few other bits that we could pick out.
Probably some other juicy stats you can throw at it, but I just have to feel Bagnaia has looked better again.
He has looked a lot better, hasn't he, this weekend?
This weekend. He blamed himself yesterday afternoon, right at the end when he started spitting. He didn't really react quick enough and put a new tyre in, and that cost him the chance of going through to qualifying 2. So, oh, he's wide there, is Aldeguer. That's so annoying when you do that, especially if you put a good lap up to this point. It still might be on a good lap, I'm sure he is, but you know you've made a mistake, and that could be the vital 10th that makes the difference.
Dropping down the hill there for Luca Marini through 11 and then 12. This is where Bagnaia is heading up the hill towards turn 10. Big long loop, then it cuts back for 11. Sorry, Neil.
Sorry, Gav. Think how many laps Bagnaia has done around this track on a Ducati. I mean, all his MotoGP career, even as a rookie, I remember when he came to the pre-season test, he was fast straight away.
Won his Moto2 World Championship here in Sepang, if you remember. Was it Marini winning on the day?
Yes, it was.
And
yeah,
then he came through and obviously celebrated.
It was a good day for VR46.
It was a really good
Marini's
day.
first Grand Prix win.
Yeah.
And then obviously Bagnaia's being crowned world champion.
First marker then, Fermin Aldeguer, 57.6. That would have put him 3rd in time practice yesterday afternoon.
So time's now starting to come through, which is the better run around, as Aldeguer goes to the top with a 1:57.698. Bagnaia second, 1:57.707. Raul Fernandez in third, 1:57.883. Marini looking like he's improving out there as well. I'll just have to zoom in my timing screen a little bit. to see where we're going. Marini's first sector is a 24.355. We're watching Aldeguer has got a 24.322 in the first sector. Iceman's brought in a wonderful comment here saying, what's your opinion about Nicola Bulaga potentially riding in place of Marquez of Portugal and Valencia? I think he's gotten too much hate for the top right collision. I think it's a good decision. I think that he's definitely going to be someone who deserves a shot at MotoGP. He did get a little bit too much hate for that collision, but I think he shouldn't have made the collision. He was going for the championship, yeah, but he rode dangerously, in my opinion. It was not the way to go about trying to be a World Superbike champion. But yeah, I think that pretty much stays the way quite a lot of the time, as our timing screens are glitching up here in the commentary box as well. That's one thing that I've noticed. Let's hopefully they'll stick together now. Looking at again, looking quite quick. Who are your picks to get into Q2? I'll go Marini and Aldeguer to go through. That's my top two, I think, will go through into the next session. Over the line comes Aldeguer now and does a 157.6. Marini does a 157.536. So there we go. Already looking good for my picks. I would... Bulaga is another really exciting prospect at top rack. I really want to see him in that Ducati and see how he does, says Sean. Hello. Iceman says, I think he'll make the move over to MotoGP full-time in the future. At earliest 2027, maybe 28. I get that Bulaga deserves to get called out for it, but not blasted for it. Agreed, yeah. Wrong thing to do. Doesn't deserve what he got. That's the opinion of me, anyway. I put it in the commentary. From the accident that he had. So, first lap time's completed. And it is Marini and Aldeguer on top.
He's not going through. There are a second run for all these riders still to go, but not where you want to be.
Yellow flags. You know what I mean? It looks like your first flying lap's the one. Everyone knows that, so you risk a little bit more. It's easy to make a mistake, ride over the limit, took the front, yellow flag. That's it. But, yeah, tough times for all the riders. Maximum pressure. But this is what they live for. This is, you become a professional bike racer. This is when you hone in, you focus. You are super precise on these qualifying laps. You do everything perfect. Like I say, this is what fills you with adrenaline.
Let's have a look at the V4 Yamaha. He's 2.4 seconds off on his outright lap, Fernandez. A second off halfway round. It just doesn't look quite right at the moment.
No, where it looks, let's say, I think we're all quite impressed when we first saw it at Misano, the first few laps, first day. You're like, I'll tell you what, actually, that V4 is not too far off. It looks further off here this weekend.
Well, he said it felt more like Barcelona, as in coming here than it did Misano, like they've gone backwards. I reckon that's the grip. What's
Definitely.
Barcelona famous for? Lack of grip.
Yeah. Yeah, they've got a lot of work ahead of them, which we knew they had when they announced they were going to produce an all-new V4. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. But Yamaha have got a cabinet full of trophies because they know how to build race bikes. They will figure it out. But it's going to take time. We'll criticise them along the way, unfortunately, and everybody will, but what they're trying to achieve is almost the impossible. That's the reality of the situation. I'd love to see Luca Marini get through. I'd love to see Luca Marini fight for the podium. I'd love to see Luca Marini win one. He's put some work in. He's put some hard work in, hasn't he?
There are new rules in play in qualifying here that have been talked about before the start of the weekend, Neil. Crashes in the last 3 minutes. You're not allowed to go and try and remount your bike. That's the rule, to try and avoid the yellow flags situations that we've had at the end of the session. Just a little tweak.
It's a tricky one then. How does the rider know that time? Does the marshals know?
Will have to tell them, I guess.
Yeah. Bit of a tricky one though.
Yeah, you know, like, I agree. Yeah.
Hang on, I crashed at 3 minutes 10.
Fabio Quartararo was also told off for zigzagging, his warming up his tyres in pit lane. That's been outlawed. All right, as well. That's another thing. And if you're going to come into the pit, you've got to dangle your leg. You've got to basically make a signal. There we are. They were things that were just talked about from other riders. You know, it's just one of those things. But the last 3 minutes thing is interesting when we get to this stage of qualifying now, isn't it? We talk about yellow flags and the like.
It's essentially to prevent people from making sure the yellow flag stays out for much longer. What's happened is you've crashed, you know your bike's damaged, but you then try and push it towards the track. The marshals are there trying to give you a push or pull you back. Before you know it, you've been there another minute and you've taken...
Crunch time here for Bagnaia and Bezzecchi, and Bezzecchi had to be forceful, didn't he, coming through?
And Fernandez goes down.
Fernandez.
Yeah, Fernandez straight down the inside turn one.
But it's just another inconvenience that you don't need.
Yeah, you saw it. I don't think it will affect him, but it's far from ideal. Ideally, you want to be on the white line in the braking zone.
Look at that. 2,000s between the two training partners, Bezzecchi and Bagnaia, as they try to find a way through into Q2. They are both outside as things stand. This could be their one and only shot.
Yep, and Bagnaia is still pushing incredibly hard. The gap is it's increasing and decreasing as you look at it as well. There's still a lot to try and gather it together. Holding the pace, holding the traction. He's up by 0.142 at the moment.
But then he's got Bagnaia. Is that going to affect things? Don't tell me Piro's going to get in the way of Bagnaia here. Luca Marini's out of his way.
No, he's out the way.
Out. Done well.
Yeah.
And Luca's going to tag onto the back of Pecco in the meantime. This is fascinating. So down through turn 12, the little kick of 13, you'll see the third split come up. Is he under still? He is by a good margin here now, Bagnaia. Remember, Luca Marini and Aldeguer still to go with their second runs. That looks a lot better, a lot more solid compared to the weaving, the wobbling we saw yesterday.
Down towards the braking zone, then in towards the hairpin, and everybody's everywhere trying to come up towards the line. This is going to be an incredibly tight run. Over the line together, Bagnaia, 3/10 up at the moment, and will go to the top spot with a 1:57.190. Marco Bezzecchi directly behind him. Does he improve up the order? Stays in third position. Luca Marini in second. Ayagura goes ninth. Lorenzo Salvadori goes 10th. Somkat Chantra in 11th position at the moment, as everyone runs in a little bit too deep after the first corner. So there are still some times to be found.
And try again.
I was going to say, is he going to literally nurse it round, have a lap off, let your tyre cool down a fraction, obviously not too much, don't use any of the drive part of it, and then attack.
Marini, first split, he's off, but Aldeguer halfway round is under. So as it stands, it's Bagnaia and Marini going through. Is it going to be all change? Is Aldeguer now going to reclaim a spot inside the top two? Fascinating. He's still underneath. On last year's Ducati, the rookie, the winner of the Indonesian Grand Prix. Really good qualifying here at Sepang. 2 minutes to go. He'll have one shot after this. We haven't even talked about Raul Fernandez down in 5th, your winner from Australia. He almost looked certain to not go through. A moment for the front there for Aldeguer. Oh, and it pumps as he applies the throttle out of the final corner.
Fastest!
Here. How much will that cost? Aldeguer. Oh! Not enough. He goes top ahead of Bagnaia.
Unbelievable, especially with that moment as well. That was a sketchy moment.
Marini, third split, is not going to manage it. As it stands, it's Aldeguer and Bagnaia going through. Oh, a little frustration that looked like for Alberto Puig down there. Did Marini have to go through traffic, or was it all a clear lap? Will he have another go at this one? Aldeguer's going again. And
Aldeguer's crashed in turn 4.
Bring the yellow flag out. He can't remount. They're the rules. He's going to switch the bike off. This is part of what they've discussed before the weekend. No, he's got the bike off now. But that's the yellow flag out there. This is what happened at turn 4.
Yeah.
Marini improved, by the way, but stayed third.
Yellow flags throughout in that second sector. That's probably the hardest one. Just comes into 4. and drops the front and then just can't roll it away, just pulls it back. So he's lost out of it. Several other riders now backing out on lap times. As, hello, there we go. Raul just walking away from turn 4. So local yellow. Bagnaya's coming into the pit lane. I think Aldeguer is going to go through alongside Bagnaia. He'll be able to take part on bike 2 in qualifying 2, and it's being prepared for him now, so that is a thumbs up. The checker flag is out in 3, 2, and 1 now. So the session is over. We have our confirmed runners. No, Bagnaia, well, Marini's improving. We'll see if that's going to be a delta to come through. I tell you what, this is my take on Augusto Fernandez. He should have been on that 10-3 KTM bike last season alongside Acosta. It should have been Paul on that bike. That I agree with. That, I think, makes more sense. There's Bagnaia watching on in the pit lane. And Marini's not going to do anything. He's backed out of the lap times massively. Everybody looks like they have. Raul Fernandez, 5th fastest, might still find something as he comes through the last couple of corners on the circuit. Just pushing incredibly hard, building up that traction point. Down towards the last corner. He's 4/10 down. I don't think we're going to see an improvement. Nobody is out there, which I guess is a little bit of a relief. We'll see if that maintains the gap. Over the line then, Raul Fernandez. Stays 5th. Igo goes 7th. Chancha goes 10th. Pirro goes 12th. Augusto Fernandez in 13th place. So it's Fermin Aldeguer and Pecco Bagnaia, the two going through alongside Marini, who's out in 13th, with Bezzecchi 14th, Raul Fernandez 15th, 16th Miguel Oliveira, 17th Igo, 18th Brad Binder, 19th Enea Bastianini, 20th will go Sonkat Chancha, 21st Lorenzo Savadori, 22nd Miguel Pirro, 23rd is Augusto Fernandez. Not a bad session. Let's head downstairs and join our team trackside.
See where he was at turn 4.
Oh!
Way up.
Oh!
Second crash.
And he's hit the wall of the pit lane.
It's all rushing there.
That was rushing too. Yeah, that was messy, wasn't it?
Trying to ride perhaps into the back of the garage. Everything hot down there as well.
That's needed a bit of
He's hit the back into the pit lane, yeah.
Ooh, I know.
Michele Mazzini there.
Yeah, that was nearly a broken leg.
Yeah.
They weigh a bit, these bikes.
They are.
They're a bit hot as well.
50 kilos.
You can bench press that, can't you, Gav?
Yeah. One arm up, that is. Oh dear, poor old Luca Marini there will be frustrated with that yellow flag, won't he?
Yes. It took away his chance, didn't it? That's the reality of it.
Can he still do anything?
Yeah, look, now it's flashing.
Still there. Oh, it went away.
Yeah.
What did we say? Just as it came to him, it had gone away, but he'll have seen it already.
Well, it went on. As he's come out of turn 3, he's heading towards it. He has to roll off, because he has to. And then
that is unlucky.
Yeah, that's how close it is, though. These are the fine margins.
And they were, the talks before the weekend about not picking your bike up when there's less than 3 minutes to go, and we've seen it in evidence straight away, Susie. And it's meant that Marini misses out. He had the best pace in free practice. Marco Bezzecchi has won the last 2 sprints. He's missed out. Your winner from Australia has missed out, and it's Aldeguer and Bagnaia going through.
Thanks, Gav. Well, there were always going to be losers in this session, Michael, but it does feel particularly unfair for Luca Marini. I mean, that was a split second between the yellow flag being out and going in, wasn't it?
Yeah, he will rue the yellow flag and also not quite getting sector 3 on his previous lap. He was very strong there. There were so many good contenders in it. And Luca and Honda will feel a little aggrieved, but that's the roll of the dice. Obviously, Aldeguer put a lap together, Pecco did. Marini was on one here in sector 1, but the rules are the rules. You're into yellow flag zone, and Luca does what a sensible Luca Marini does, rolls out of it. You can see the marshals and riders still walking out to the side of the track, so that is it. Game over for him in the Q1 session, and it means he's 13th on the grid. It's hard work from there, but he's got such good pace. He's still got a chance over 20 laps tomorrow. I think it's going to be hard to recover over 10 in the sprint this afternoon, though.
It was a knife edge, wasn't it? We were actually in the paddock when Fermin Aldeguer came in with the bike, and it was panic stations, and I couldn't really understand why they were panicking, because they were, at the top, and it was everybody was running out of time, yellow flags, but he came literally past us here, and obviously you saw him on the world feed pictures just crash. That was just, everybody seemed to lose their head a little bit there, didn't
Yeah, I'm guessing they have two different setups across the two bikes. They really wanted to get that one back for Q2 now. So yeah, another crash as he entered the pit box. It's work to do to get the bike ready. Short window, but he's looking good after that Q1 session.
Absolutely, both the Ducatis are actually.
Yeah.
Pecco was looking particularly planted, and that bike looks so much better in that session. I wonder what he's going to be able to do in Q2. Nat is with Davide Tardozzi, who must be pleased.
Yeah, Davide, a tricky Q1 as it always is. You must be pleased to see Pecco navigate that one.
Yeah, we are quite pleased to see Pecco back on the top positions. We'll be competitive also for the first and second row in the Q2, I guess. So he's still not really happy about the bike, but in the end he's confident now at least. So we'll see. We are trying to make the last adjustment to try to improve a bit better.
It certainly looks more stable and more planted. What is his feedback?
Yeah, now he's quite happy. The bike is, we can say, under brackets rideable, so he has no problem to push. And again, we'll see what it's going to be in Q2, because it will be really tough to be in the first two rows.
Thanks, Davide.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. There's something, Michael, isn't there? There's still something. I mean, Davide a little bit contradicted himself there. He said he's not happy, then he said he is happy. There's something more that Pecco wants from that bike.
Yeah, he said last night that it doesn't feel like it did a pre-season test, and even though it's a GP25, so still missing something, but he shouldered a lot of the blame for not going directly through to Q2 himself, that he didn't put the lap together. When you watch him, the bike was stable down the straight, he's stopping it good, and as Davide said, it's rideable, and that is the thing in Australia and in Mandalika. It seemed almost unrideable, the head shakes that were going on, just not giving Pecco the feeling to be able to push a MotoGP bike to the absolute limit. And you have to feel at one with the package to ride these Michelin tyres on the very edge. And he's not got it. So obviously he's now got a shot at maybe first two rows of the grid, but he's not quite got that feeling that he likes the ultimate package.
And that's the point, isn't it? The factory team, they're already thinking about if he doesn't get on the front two rows, it's all a bit pointless anyway. And that's what you contend with. You get through one hoop and you've got another one to jump through, of course.
Yeah, obviously he's in the top 12 now, first 4 rows, but you've got to go again. You've got to put it in the first 2 rows if you want a realistic shot. We know Pecco's not a sprint racer this year with the current package, so I think they're thinking about tomorrow, because he has got good rhythm and he's got such a good record around here over the years. If he gets a feeling, find a bit more overnight, then he could be a threat for the victory tomorrow.
What about Fermin Aldeguer? What did you make of him there, apart from the crash on track and indeed into the garage?
Yeah, good again. Fermin, fastest yesterday morning, was unlucky not to be directly through, so yeah, in the end he's got the job done, and I think he's looking good in terms of his rhythm for both races, both sprint and the main race tomorrow. But he's got to deliver now. This is the crunch part for him, is getting the 1 lap time attack down to be on those first 2 rows of the grid. The Ducati's working, the GP24 works around here. Aldeguer seems to enjoy this racetrack. It's the first one he has visited with true MotoGP experience, and it allowed him to be fast on Friday from the outset. It's allowed him to get through into the final qualifying stage now, and can he deliver back up what he did in similar climate when we were in Indonesia? He was exceptional, both sprint and main race there, so he'll be looking for more of the same here today.
Yeah, so qualifying session coming up in a couple of minutes' time. Pedro Acosta, the fastest so far across the weekend. What can he do here?
Pedro's looking good, and he's fired up. Haven't seen Aldeguer and Fernandez being getting those MotoGP wins ahead of him. He wants to put one on the board, and this is his best chance. I think the KTM works good around here. Likewise, he's always enjoyed this racetrack, and I think he looked capable of putting everything on the line. Obviously, chatter's a bit of an issue in terms of race trim, but if he can get everything together, I think he's got a shot at the front row here in this qualifying session. Yeah,
and he has achieved KTM's best result around here. So is he your favourite for pole, or do you think front row for Pedro?
Yeah, I think front row. I think pole position might be a bit of an ask for him, although he did lead the way overnight. It's hard to actually pick your pole man. I think if I was going for anyone, I'd say Fabio Quartararo again, just because of his ability over recent rounds to somehow unlock those extra 3-4 tenths of a second. But yeah, looking at it yesterday, Jack was strong as well, as was, well, Zarco was a bit of a surprise package, being just as quick as he was overnight. But yeah, there's also an argument for the factory Ducati of Pecco, having seen what we just witnessed there in the Q1 session.
We saw Fabio Quartararo walk into the garage in the free practice session before, get off the bike and wag his finger at his crew chief as if to say, what you just said to me hasn't happened, it hasn't worked. It's such work in progress, isn't it?
Yeah, and sometimes you can see Fabio, he gets a little bit too emotional on the bike, and sometimes it fires him up actually, and at other times it's probably to his detriment. But they've changed something that hasn't worked, so go back was immediately the signal to Diego Gubellini, who will be able to re-engineer hopefully the feeling that Fabio needs for the ultimate time attack. He's so good at doing those.
Well, let's see if you predicted correctly. You've done pretty well so far, and you predicted Pecco to go through, and he certainly did. We're going to head over to commentary to look at this beautiful circuit here in Sepang. I can tell you guys, the sun has come out, and it is scorchio now down here.
Yeah, thanks, Susie. Q2 is underway then, and this is going to be a little bit of an interesting one. We've now got our live timing data open for you as well. It is Jan Zarco, Fabio Quartararo, Franco Morbidelli, Johan Mir, Pedro Acosta, Alex Rins, Jack Miller, Paul Espargaro, Fabio Di Antonio, Fermin Aldeguer, Pecco Bagnaia and Alex Marquez. They're the riders out there on the circuit. Who's going to take pole position? Well, Julian said Acosta. So she's going to say as well, any of these riders have a chance to come through. It's hard to pick, it really is. I will go for Fabio Quartararo. Wild pick from the dark, but yeah, I'll go in. Let's see what the boys are saying as they head out there on the circuit.
Exactly, because it's just like, it's bizarre, isn't it? You know, like, I mean, obviously, it's hard to call, but with you look at the last 7 races, what is score? Out of the last 4 races, he scored 0 points in 3 of them and got the maximum in the other 1. So
yeah, there've been 5 different winners in the last 5 races, including this man. He, of course, won back in Barcelona. Do you know what I feel after Aldeguer and Bagnaia have gone through and there's no Aprilias? Us talking about Ducati's demise or disappearance and the others coming to the fore. I don't know, I've got a Ducati feeling now.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Always gone well at this track, and it's been battles between them over the last few years.
Yeah, you feel like they came here yesterday, the track was green, we had little bits of rain, didn't quite work. All of a sudden now, the sun's out, we've got a bit of rubber down, and it's just playing back into the strengths of a Ducati, extracting the most out of that rear Michelin tyre, getting off the corners well, because I've done some tweaks. And we've just seen Bagnaia and Fermin Aldeguer set the fastest lap times of the weekend.
And Bagnaia's bike looked planted.
Yeah, it did look ragged, didn't it?
Exactly. Right, here we go anyway. We're going to find out. The proof will be in this pudding we're going to see over the next few minutes. I noticed Bagnaia there taking his time. He's only got 1 tyre really to go at this. You cannot chuck 2 tyres at it because you need the soft tyre for the sprint. You need one for the race as well. And you need spare. So it will be the situation. Pecco is going to get himself out of sync and probably just have 1 go. That means 1 lap, probably.
Yeah, that'll be tricky. But like we said earlier, he has done a few laps around here on a factory Ducati.
2 Gresini bikes. I'm assuming it's a presumption that Aldeguer maybe has gone out on a used tyre to start this session.
Yeah, and check the bike, make sure it's okay.
After throwing it at a bit of racking on the way back.
Yeah, he has got a used tyre on that, according to that graphic you can see there on your screen.
There we are, top left of your screen. No Bagnaia out on track. And that's to do with allocation, isn't it?
Yes. Makes sense.
Oh, a little bit deep there from Alex Rins.
You can appreciate from that shot how tight that turn 9 is. Real tricky corner.
There's also a little bit of a...
Oh, hello. You're on the inside
line.
Very problematic.
Pedro.
There's a little bit of a, not a hollow, but it sort of dips towards the apex of the corner there, doesn't it?
Yeah, just where you don't really want it to as well. That can unload the front. Hence, we see a lot of crashes there. Pedro looks fast.
He looks up for it, doesn't he?
Looks up, well, I was trying to work out the time.
Yeah, the time he did, okay.
The day he walked into this paddock, he looked up for it when he was a very, very, very fast 16-year-old.
Yeah, I just then wonder from Pedro, it's tyre life. And when we're talking about a track where you're going to have to be slow and you're going to have to keep the tyre underneath you, we have seen it fade, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. And that is totally out of his control.
Yeah.
So all he's going to try and do is what he's just done there. He's set definitely a decent banker. What's going to happen here, though, Aldeguer is going to get in the way of these two because they've all sort of sat back to chase him down, but probably not aware that he's got to use rear tyring.
Morbidelli into second. Mir goes third. Quartararo, Michael's pick is halfway round. He's got a red indicator. Zarco into second now on the Honda. Look much better. He's another one who loves Japan. Got a good history here. Remember him winning Moto2 World Championship at this racetrack. And just having that kind of feeling about a racetrack can do something special for you.
Well, yeah, you feel good when you get here, but also you know the secrets of it. You know exactly where you need to put your bike at any one given time. And that actually then helps you. Sometimes when you've lost a little bit of your way with the setting, with the feeling from the bike, you then become you come here, and then you have got the perfect reference.
And put the Yamaha on the podium here in Tech 3 colours.
Yeah.
If you remember, a couple of times.
Sorry, Mir into that corner then. A corner you don't normally back it in that much into turn 7. Looked like he was on.
Oh, Mir's rear sliding like crazy.
Into 9, but still pulling it down to an apex.
Yeah, well, Mir's side, it's just sliding like crazy. He's got absolutely zero traction on the inside line. He's desperately trying to push it. Acosta is 88 thousandths up at the moment, so still might find something. Oh, and Mir's front end just won't grip. He's following Alex Rins, and it's like it's just being sucking traction. It's really not working out the way you want it to. It's pushing and it's pulling at the wrong moments out there on the circuit. So we'll see if that's going to be maintained a gap and maintained as a issue or not. Over the line then, what have we got? Acosta, stay fastest. Alex Marquez stays 5th. Feldman Aldeguer stays in 9th position. So no one's finding the differential of times, which surprises the hell out of me, really. As my chair goes down a bit. Coming through. Quartararo 2 tenths up at the moment. Still pushing. That's all in sectors 2 and 3. 26.8, 36.1. So he's continuing the time to try and pull it through. Down the backstretch, 8.5 to go. Brakes hard into the last corner. Loops back in the traction. Gets back on the throttle by pulling it straight on again. Up to the line, and Fabio Quartararo goes up into provisional pole position. 1:57.195. Very good time. Very, very good time.
Yamaha KTM.
Very good time.
Honda, your front row. What did we say about Ducati? Sorry, yeah.
Well, the fact that Bagnaya's not gone out, Aldeguer went out on a used tyre.
I'm just mocking myself, Neil. That's all.
Yeah. Thought you were having a go at me.
Self-deprecation.
We're good at that. No, actually, no, we're rubbish at that.
You're back with us. We've had a small issue with our timings. We'll get them back on shortly.
He has. I just wonder.
Else needs him.
You're back with us. We've had a small issue with our data system on our main control PC. We'll be back up shortly.
Talked about yesterday, Neil, was that we have nothing new before the end of the season, so I just have to, work on the bike that we've got. There's only 3 rounds to go. I'm not surprised you've not got anything new.
Yeah, and that's not a bad thing, work on the bike you've got, because you are always, there are a million different permutations. Everything's adjustable, so there's always something you can improve with what you've got. That looked great.
I mean, that was Japan. That was down into a couple of the corners that we saw in Japan, where you say, when I remember you saying, well, that's Bagnaia of old.
Yeah, that's Bagnaia from last year. This must be a red indicator.
It is.
It is. It looked clean. It looked precise.
Even there where it floats a little bit into the corner, it comes back into line like he wants it to. It hooks up beautifully out of the corner, down into 5. Track dropping away from you here. Very fast through there. Look at the body language.
Yeah, late apex, aggressive. how you should be.
The bike wasn't upset on the change of direction either for Bagnaia. Into the double apex now of 7 and 8. Just lost a touch compared to Quartararo there.
Who's strong through that part of the track? The inline 4 strong through that part of the track.
You wonder. Bagnaia was losing in the final sector yesterday, but we also saw that the bike was wobbling still a little bit yesterday.
Not today.
Yep, still trying to find the traction.
The bike was wobbling still a little bit yesterday.
Not today.
Yep, still trying to find the traction. And you're back with us up here in the commentary box after a little issue. Just a touch. Look at you, we were able to keep that going with a backup computer. Able to load back in. So here we go again then, with Fabio Quartararo still on the impressive times. It's attack, attack, attack. Delta upon delta upon delta. And to the top will go Pecco Bagnaia, still finding that overall traction point.
Bagnaia should gain more than a tenth on this part of the track.
You see how much tighter he is on the entry to the final corner here for Bagnaia. He should. We think he'll go top. Let's see if we're proved wrong or not.
Top.
57.001 for Pecco Bagnaia. He made up that 2 tenths and more.
Yep. No one else was out there. Nice clean track.
And he'll go again.
Go again.
Everyone else is on their out lap. So Bagnaia is in provisional pole with just over 3 minutes to go. There'll be people saying, yeah, but last year he did a 156. He did a 156.3. Oh, he's still 3/4 of a second off. We cannot compare, can we?
No, the
track's deteriorated. The track's green. It's, you know.
Yeah. I think that lap time's enough to put him on the front row.
Yeah.
We'll find out in the next 3.5 minutes. Has he got to second lap in the tyres? Oh. History tells us usually not.
It's borderline.
Where could he tidy up from that first lap, do you think?
Through that sector then. That looked a little bit tidier, but he lost a bit. So
yellow flag's out, sector 1.
9 to 10 was another one. We'll find out now as he heads down towards turn 9. Aldeguer first split, slightly off. This was on the previous lap.
Well, that was tied it.
That looked smoother than it did on the previous lap here for Bagnaia. So this will be...
Pedro Costa has gone down in sector 1. Pedro Costa's down.
Ooh, yellow flags are out.
It's a Costa.
Exactly
Pedro. Oh. That has happened too many times this year.
Can't restart, Pedro. Can't restart.
Turn 1. And he's inside the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, so he can't do that, but he's doing it.
That's
why I said it's such a grey area.
Alex Marquez under through the second split.
You know, for a rider, you're full of adrenaline, you've crashed. It's all your life. Your natural instinct is to pick your bike up and drag it back on track. Oh.
Down into the final corner, it looks like Bagnaia cannot improve. What do we talk about? The last sector on the tyre. Not enough.
What do we talk about? The Ducatis are coming. Look at that screen just to say the Ducatis are coming.
Here we go then with Fermin Aldeguer. Now, 0.348 off Bagnaia. However, compare that to Quartararo. If he can get that Ducati power to the ground and working, every chance Aldeguer could still go front row here. What about Alex Marquez? Can he nick pole? We haven't talked about him apart from crashing yesterday for Alex Marquez and things not working. Alex picked it up, put it through in Q2 yesterday in that strange 3 minutes we had at the end of practice. Aldeguer goes second row in 5th. What about his teammates? Out of the final corner for Alex Marquez, not been on pole since he won in Barcelona. Where does he go?
Second.
Oh, so Bagnaia is still top. What about Morbidelli? He makes it in all the Ducati front row all of a sudden. Oh, we said it was going to be unpredictable here, and now Morbidelli is done because he runs it wide at turn 1.
Yeah, don't think we're going to see much change, sadly. At the moment, Juan Mir goes into 6th position with less than a minute to go. There's no one out there that's setting staggering lap times. I think we actually have our running order, which would put Pecco Bagnaia back onto provisional pole position. That would be a surprise, considering the last couple of races haven't had anything since Japan, of course. This is a Costa into 1, turns in, the front's going to dip away from him mid-apex and just drifts out. It's inside that 3 minutes, so he couldn't pick the bike up. That's part of the new ruling for 2025's last few races, going to 26. So yeah, just drop the inside and nothing that could be done. 20 seconds to go though, and the lights will come on.
He He's on his second lap.
Zarco also on a lap, Neil.
Yeah, very similar actually.
Digi also on a lap, not far off. This could still change. Fabio Quartararo has just come across the line. He will go again. He didn't have a fast lap at it. But look at all the rocks across the track.
Yeah, just what you don't want.
Alex Marquez is still in touch, but we feel like...
So is Mir.
It would just get slower, though, on the second lap on the tyre.
I'm worried about some rocks around about here. Was it round here, then?
Yeah.
Where the rocks came out.
This is where we just saw it.
Just what you want.
This is the last couple of corners, still pushing. Right, up to the line then. The checkered flag is out. Has anyone got the time for pole position? But Alex Marquez is 0.061 down. Mir, 4/10 down. He's out of it. Bagnaya's taking provisional pole. Aldeguer's going to 6th. Here comes Alex Marquez then. Up towards the line. Is he going to take provisional pole position away? No, stays in 2nd place. He's a 10th down. Don't think Mir's going to improve. Who's next over the line? Zarco. Digi. Mir not improving either. Stays in 7th place. Couldn't find that traction point, the braking zone, to coil back in again. Sadly loses out on it. Quartararo up. Just a little bit on data. Just hugging that inside line and pushing harder and harder out there on the circuit. He's up by 0.2 of a second. So my pick a pole might still get it because Quartararo's got those 2 red sectors. He's inside by 98 thousandths in the 3rd sector. Down we go towards the last one. We've got a yellow flag, sector 3 to keep an eye on. Acosta is in the line now. Pedro doesn't improve. Is Quartararo going to have the lap time? It's going to have to be Rins or drag him, his teammate up towards the line. Quartararo's rear sliding out. Is it pole position for Fabio Quartararo here in Malaysia? No! 2/10 down, cost by his teammate. And it's cost Rins a lot. There's a yellow flag in the 3rd sector. It's a bounce back for Pecco Bagnaia then after the highs of Japan, the lows of Indonesia, and the lows of Australia. It's a high in Malaysia. 1:57.001. Alex Marquez 2nd, Morbidelli 3rd, Quartararo, Acosta, Aldeguer, Mir, Digi, Zarco, Rins, Miller, and Pol Espargaro. Now that is how you do it, and it's an all-time lap record. Last year was a 1:56.337. This year's a 1:57.001. So. Just below, actually, the all-time lap record. That graphic was a little bit wrong with what came up on our monitors, but still, not too bad at all. So, Bagnaia's taken it. He's got the top honours here in qualifying for the MotoGP Grand Prix of Malaysia. And he'll come in to line up on provisional pole position. 3 on the bounce in Malaysia. Not bad at all for Pecco. We will be back for the sprint race in 3 hours' time. Join us for that here on JB Motorsports. It's Bagnaia on top. Bye-bye.